If you're a streamer on Twitch, you should seriously consider switching to pixel art emotes, and I'll show you why. The term pixel art was coined by Adele Goldberg and Robert Flegel in a letter to ACM in 1982. In their letter, they explained that at the time, displays had low resolution and were limited by a computer's memory. Creating recognizable images required careful placement of pixels. Pixel art solved the problem of representing images within these strict technical constraints. What does this have to do with making emotes? Well, if you think about it, the restraints for making emotes on a platform like Twitch aren't super different from early computing scenarios. Except instead of hardware limitations, the biggest limitation for emotes is legibility at small sizes. You can draw emotes in Procreate or design them in Illustrator, but at the end of the day on Twitch's platform, emotes exist in 3 tiny file types: 112, 56, and 28. Just to show you on screen what that looks like on a 1440p video, these are those 3 sizes of emotes at true scale. This is why I think pixel art is such an elegant solution. Not only does pixel art look phenomenal at small sizes, it's more beginner friendly for people who are either new to art or don't consider themselves artists at all. Also, the programs I like for pixel art are incredibly inexpensive. Sprite on PC and Mac is only $10, and Pixsquare is a flat $20. These aren't subscriptions, they're a one-time cost. As a professional motion designer, I can tell you it's incredibly rare for a program not to be subscription-based these days. And speaking of subscriptions, consider subscribing here. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subs and I really enjoy making videos like these for free. In the past year, I overhauled all my emotes on Twitch in pixel art form. All of these were made on a 28x28 canvas, which is my favorite for this style. I've also been contracted to make some pixel art emotes for my friends. All of this to say, I truly believe in the value of pixel art emotes, and I've been making them long enough to say they are my favorite style of emote on the platform. At this point, you might be wondering how to even go about making something like this. I'll give you a few of my tips and tricks, and then I'll walk you through how I made one from scratch. The first tip is making curves in pixel art. So pixel art struggles with curves. Every tile is a square on a square canvas. To compensate for this, you have to be very intentional with how you curve a line. Here's a 90-degree angle. Now here's the same shape but with a cut corner. And here's an example of a curve. Notice how it goes from several pixels in a row, down to 2, then to 1, before starting to gain more pixels going in the other direction. Explaining it is fine, but once you get into a program and start practicing curves, you'll naturally get a feel for it. My second tip is to focus on contrast and colors. With pixel art, you have to be precise with your color selection and how well it contrasts with other colors in your piece. For example, if you make a character with dark hair and your line art is black, it might be hard to see. An example of this exact thing happening was in this mogging emote I made for my buddy Ionix. The way I solved this problem was by adding highlights in his character's hair. And my last tip, just keep refining. In the past year of working on pixel art emotes, the best ones I've made were the result of multiple versions or drafts. Some I restarted completely from scratch. If you want really good emotes, sit with them. Weigh your critiques and make tweaks. The main thing to focus on is how well they read, especially at small sizes. One thing I did was turn to my wife and ask her what she thought an emote was conveying. Often it was conveying something I wasn't intending. Asking a friend or someone not involved in your process what they see in your emote can help you make a better piece. Now that I've given you some of my favorite tips, I'm going to show you a time lapse of an emote I made for this video specifically. Since some parts of my stream have cowboy themes, I decided to show you the process of making a sad or pleading cowboy emote. This example was made in Pixsquare on my iPad on a 28x28 canvas. I started with the symmetry tool to get the cowboy hat shape, then I shaped the head and ears, then I added in some hair and started working on the expression. If you don't have much pixel art practice, just start by drawing some literal expressions. It's super fun. You'll fall in love with it. After getting the expressions mostly there, I started filling in the main colors, and lastly I added a bit of shading for extra dimension. And here's the final product. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know. If enough of you like this, I'd be more than happy to do a more in-depth breakdown of more emotes and even slow it down for newer artists. Thanks so much for watching. See ya.